Screen time salutations to all you internet dwellers out there, and welcome to another episode of Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick, and I'm joined, as always, by the boys. Keelan, what's going on, man?
Not much, not much. Enjoying this hot Sunday out here.
Hot. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sweating myself. Hope you guys are staying cool out there. And we got the mustard, Dijon. How you doing, man?
Doing all right. I just know if you stay in one spot, you should be good. Or
Yeah.
what I used to do back in my apartment when I was a bachelor, throw my underwears in the freezer.
That's always nice.
Does that actually work? I've heard of that, but I've never tried it.
Well, I
It's
don't
great
see
for
why
like
not.
it's great for like 10 seconds, but it's the best 10 seconds you'll ever feel.
Yeah, I would imagine your body probably warms that up real fast. But
Great.
yeah. But thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. Please feel free to leave us some comments, leave us some inputs live, and we will be responding to those in the chat once we get them. But today we wanted to talk about season 1, episode 1 of Westworld. So if you guys joining us are interested in what we have to say about this episode, what we have to say about subsequent episodes, I know that Keelan hasn't seen it before. Dijon, have you seen it before?
No, I have not. This is my first
Okay.
time jumping into this, so this is awesome.
Awesome. Well, then that makes me even more excited because I've seen it before and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely wanted to get these guys' input and see how they feel about it. So going forward on my turns, we're going to be just jumping into an episode of Westworld season 1. We're probably going to cover just season 1 for now, unless they decide that we want to cover a season in the future. We can do that, but I really think that the first season is a great story in of it itself, and you don't necessarily have to watch the subsequent seasons, and you don't feel like you really miss anything. So yeah, guys, we're gonna jump right into it. So if you guys haven't seen Westworld season 1 episode 1, please turn back now, because this is your spoiler warning, although it's been out for about 5 years, so I think you probably have seen it. So join us in this discussion, and we hope you enjoy this journey. But I'm gonna get the boys' first impressions, episode 1, season 1, Westworld. Keelan, just off the bat, what are you thinking? What's going on?
Oh man, off the bat, first I'm thinking if anyone else is like me and has not had not started this before today, you don't have to turn away. Just listen in. You'll still get some good stuff, and then go watch it.
There you go. That works too. Yeah.
Because first impression, it looks like we are in for a ride, but a pleasant ride. Something that is fresh to television. I wouldn't say fresh to movies, but something that seems a little fresh to television for sure. At least when this first came out. So for my introduction of this right now, initially, I'm a little excited. I think we got a heap of information for the first episode, so yeah, it should be a nice ride.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where the next episodes lead us. But yeah, cool. Dijon, what did you think? First episode, first impressions.
I can tell you, I am not drinking milk, but I am a growing boy.
You are a grown boy. That's good. That's good.
You know, Western wise, I mean, it's really not a Western, but it takes place somewhat in a Western atmosphere. But usually the whole Western thing doesn't really draw to me. But there's rare instances where it have, like movies like Tombstone, or what do you call it, the Sundance Kid, or shit like that, or 310 the Yuma. I didn't finish that movie. But the narration drew me in, and I was just like, all right, cool. And just the whole futuristic thing that goes on with it, along with this kind of Western vibe, it's pretty dope. And then I was like going through the little 2-minute intro, and I was like, oh man, Cyclops / Donut Lord is in this. I'm like, I need to see him in some extra stuff. So I'm like, you know what? Cut this. And beyond that, everybody's always raving about Tessa Thompson's performance, but I don't think that's what they're really watching.
Oh, right.
All the nudity I've seen in this. So yeah, I'm very interested. It looks cool,
Awesome.
especially coming from J.J. Abrams and Christopher Nolan's brother.
Mhm.
So I guess I missed it somewhere. Tessa Thompson's in this.
Not yet. She will be in subsequent episodes. Yes.
He's
Okay,
like,
say
I'm
less, say
ready.
less, say less, say less. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
I'm
I won't
ready.
spoil it for you
He's
guys.
like,
Don't
I'm
worry.
ready.
But just to give a little bit of a synopsis and then kind of the credits here for this show, like Dijon mentioned, it is Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan were the creators, and J.J. Abrams was an executive producer. I believe Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy are married.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure. And it stars Evan Rachel Wood as Dolores. We have Jeffrey Wright as Bernard. Ed Harris also is in this as the Man in Black. And then we have Anthony Hopkins, of course. And one of the Hemsworth brothers, the third tier Hemsworth brother. He plays the security guard guy.
Luke.
Oh, wow.
Luke Hemsworth. There you go.
Hey, I was really sitting here like, so what's his name? So
Right.
we have, there's three of them. Wait,
Mhm.
okay.
Oh, and I can't forget Dandy
Liam
Newton.
Neeson.
Obviously,
Right.
plays the madam of the brothel,
Mhm.
and yeah,
James
and
Marsden.
what's that?
James Marsden.
James Marsden. Yes, you're right. Yeah, I mean, there's this pretty great cast in this, and basically the premise is that this place called Westworld exists, and we're in this point in sort of like, I guess you could call it the future. It is futuristic. Certainly, the tech is beyond our tech, but they have the ability to create these autonomous sort of androids that look and react like humans, but they're robots. So what does humanity do with such a power? Well, they create a theme park in which you can go to the Wild West and do anything you want to these autonomous androids, whether that's save them or do terrible, terrible things to them. And so rich people pay to go to Westworld to play out their most indulgent fantasies. The things that they couldn't do in the real world is, basically what you can do in Westworld. And I can assure you that you can probably take a guess about the horrors that could take place with such in such a place, but we'll probably get into those as they unfold. But yeah,
Right.
Keelan.
So with the way you just explained that, and seeing as how we were talking about the director before we came on, and some of his other works, one of that being Jurassic Park,
Mm-hmm.
I just realized how similar the
Yes.
whole concept of the isolated park and the automated replicas that are free
Mhm.
of thought, free of mind and body, the labs, everything, like the
Michael
semi
Crichton has a theme for sure. Yeah.
clearly
Yeah.
very wow. It's
I,
almost like he's been here before, but that's another conversation.
right. And I did forget to mention that the creator of this story is actually Michael Crichton, the same man who wrote Jurassic Park. He wrote a book called Westworld, and this was adapted from the book. There's also a 1970s movie named the same thing, which is based on the book. Probably a little bit closer based on the book than this. This isn't an exact like a one-to-one retelling of the book. This is kind of taking its own path. But let's see. What did you guys want to just get into first? Keelan, did you have anything that you wanted to bring up first?
Yeah, we could jump straight into the scripts of the host and the newcomers having free reign like that.
Hmm.
To me, that sets the table for everything that we saw in episode one,
Mhm.
everything that we're gonna see, and all the potential lies within that. I think there's gonna be a big change of the guard. And what I mean when I say change of the guard, I don't just mean like a role reversal. It's not gonna be the newcomers are subservient to the hosts. Um, so what I'm seeing is an evolution. Like there's gonna be a point of anarchy, in my opinion. What I see coming, there's gonna be some anarchy, and then we're gonna get some understanding of how we could coincide with one another.
Mm.
But I don't think that's going to be achievable because of everybody wanting, some of the things we saw in episode 1. Just there are some goals that we don't quite understand. Like, what are
Right.
certain people going for? What are certain people here for?
Right.
Etc.
Right. And, if you do take it along the tracks of Jurassic Park, there's certain things that you could probably guess might happen in this season. But I think you'd be surprised. We won't talk about what's going to happen in the rest of the season yet. But when we get there, I think we can have a conversation about how closely it resembles Jurassic Park, because there's some similarities for sure. But I did like this concept of, I forget the company's name. Do they say the company that made Westworld yet?
I
don't think they've said the
No,
name
I don't
yet.
think so.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I forget if they've said the name of the company yet. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so. We've gotten a bit of the origin, like
Mhm.
at the why, so to speak, but I don't think we've gotten the name.
Right.
I got a quick question for you, Nick. This is probably your second time watching this, or third time?
Probably third. Yeah.
How's it holding up for you so far?
Oh, I love season 1.
Okay.
I think it's one of those I could watch multiple times, just because, yes, I know all of the twists and turns and I know where everything leads, but I still think that the individual episodes themselves are just really good.
Nice.
So yeah.
Right.
But yeah, what do you guys think about the corporation? I mean, would you take a trip to Westworld?
Hell no. I'm gonna be straightforward. I'm like, this might be the future of gaming, like Red Dead Redemption style, but I'm like,
yeah, not this era. No, if the entire park is this era, no. I don't see me going. No.
Okay, gotcha.
What kind of era would you go to?
That's a good question.
Yeah, no, I was actually really thinking. I'm not sure if I would go to like. And it's gonna seem a little crazy. I'm not sure if I would go to like the early 1900s, late 1800s, really cause some ruckus. And that's only because of just knowing a little more about history. I wouldn't be in America, but just knowing a little more about history and the way things were, like there was just a lot more freedom of mind and body, not just of mind.
So somewhere in Europe.
Actually, yeah, most plausibly. But if I had like omnipotent, like if I got to just choose and it was going to be exactly what I wanted, I'm going back to like ancient Egypt and the days of Prince of Persia and all of those kind of video games. Like if I'm going to go and dive into some
when water was good,
yeah, right.
That'd be kind of a cool park. Yeah,
right. Like those, I want to. You can learn about history and get some enjoyment and those kind of things. I think personally, the whole Westworld concept is just narcissistic.
How so?
Well, if you're a man, what would you not like about Westworld?
Which you do see that, especially with that couple that goes through, and they're just like, she's like doing everything her husband want to do. Then you can probably say the same thing for a woman, because it seems like the women and the men kind of see it as like a sex resort, like sex
essentially,
spots.
yeah.
Then,
exactly.
then you got other ones that got this twisted way of being like. Me and my wife was watching it. She was like, "Yeah, like fucking." She's like, "That's racist." She's like, "He just skinned that Native American dude's head, like, scalping him." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, but there was a reason to it.
We see that map.
There's some reason, and there's a 30-year background of something that we need to find out what he knows.
Oh yeah, and that's a fascinating storyline once it plays out throughout the season, because as it kind of hints to, the man in black is this guy who's been going to the park for 30 years, and he's kind of like on God mode in a video game, where he just knows all of the things that trigger stuff, and so he's just kind of playing with the hosts at this point, and he's doing whatever the hell he wants. And then at the end of this episode, you find out that he's looking for something called the maze, which he describes as the deepest level of this game.
Which is crazy, because I'm like, they're not even keeping an eye on this dude. Like, they don't keep an eye on people. They just keep an eye on the fucking NPCs or whatever.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. I don't think they're not aware of what he's doing. I think like he knows it's a part of the game. And that's really why for me, if I were to be able to go to Westworld, like do I get to program my world? If it's that specific where I know there's multiple layers and levels, this dude's been coming for 30 years, he's still trying to figure stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
How much do I pay to now I get to change the program?
Well, I tell you how much it costs to go to Westworld.
How much is
there's an actual number, $46,000 a day.
That's it.
It's not terrible, right? I mean, like if you're a millionaire, you know,
like no. Like, okay, let's be clear. I watch a lot of those expensive resort things, and where they're talking about the best places to stay around the world, or the most expensivest, like the 2 Chainz show, the most expensive shit. Yeah, there are places that you're paying 46, and that's probably like half the rate.
Well, if you're not getting a Westworld experience for $46,000
they're
a
paying
day,
for rooms. These are rooms. Now, they're luxury rooms and spas on the 37th floor with a golden chalice and butler and cuisine and a chef and infinity pool, and it has all of that good junk. But it ain't Westworld.
It's not Westworld.
It's not Westworld.
It's not a living video game.
2019, I think, when that came out. You said it's not a real life video game where I can shoot you and you can't shoot me back.
Right.
I got a feeling that's where video games are gonna go.
I think that's where video games are. Think of the Oculus.
Close enough. I mean, it is a little bit different.
I mean, once you convince the brain, though, how much further do you have to go?
Right.
That's essentially, once you're here,
So the question is, if you were, if you were given the trip to Westworld, would you go white hat or black hat?
Ooh,
that's the question, right?
Is there a gray hat?
I mean, I guess you can always be, nuanced with your decisions.
Okay, but can we be clear? If you have a white hat, you're going for sex. If you have a black hat, you're going for murder, pretty much, right?
Yeah, you're probably going for both ways.
That's what I'm like. I think one way or another, you're gonna do both. Especially if you go for sex alone, you're gonna have to kill the host's spouse because they have so many of them paired off. Boom. And it's the Wild West, so that was the only way you was really getting any cutty back then, unless you was paying for it.
Or you can do a caveman style.
Yep, still got to beat somebody over the head.
Somebody over the head, Jesus.
Hey, again, it's the Old West, so I'm figuring that's just what it was according to what they teach us, right?
Like he said, it's still warm.
Oh God,
warm enough. He didn't say it's still warm. He said it's warm enough.
Oh boy,
she won't judge.
And to find out he was a bot, and to find out that dude was a bot, that's another conversation too.
Right.
Yeah, to answer your question, I would probably go black hat. Yeah.
Why you gotta go black hat?
I think it's more fun.
Yeah. Because if I'm gonna break the rules, why am I worried about any of them?
Right.
You go white hat, you're gonna end up breaking rules, but but I want to do it the right way.
But you're doing it in a justified way.
I'm not Batman.
Right. And a lot of the white hat stuff seems like, we got to go find this dude that's out in the desert, and like the black hats get to go rob banks and stuff.
Yeah. and mind you, we might have just jumped the gun because I only actually know what that is because I saw a YouTube video. Because they actually have not explained the decision-making process that the newcomers go through.
Oh, right.
Ooh, shit. I didn't even realize that until I only know that because I watched the video. I was just trying to get some background on what I was about to watch.
Right.
And they explained that.
Well, how did you guys like that sort of like quest?
I thought that was kind of cool.
That quest line pickup sort of element of things, like Dolores dropping the can is a beginning of a quest for somebody. If you pick up that can, then you go on the Dolores quest. Just like if in the like the dude at the beginning with his wife, they're like going up to the sheriff, and the sheriff's like, "We need to go hunt this guy," and it's like, "Oh, do you want to go do this, honey?"
Yeah, that's the one I thought you were initially talking about. That I thought that was cool, but you're right. I didn't think about the Dolores thing as also being one of those openings.
Yeah, it's a quest. It's this quest line. So like you would go up to her and give her the can of condensed milk, and then hit it off with her and then go horseback riding with her. And then you'd have to save her from the bandits at the end.
When the fuck did this dude write this book?
In like the 70s.
Shit. It's like he knew RPGs were going to be a thing.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
Man, what were they smoking back then?
They just got done doing all that military grade acid.
You know what? Yeah. I was about to say they were in the military getting tested on and came home sober and or thought they were sober.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you look at shit like Fahrenheit. What is it? Fahrenheit
451.
451. I mean, believe it or not, I think shit like that's happening. And
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, in different
Definitely
places in the
there.
world. I think it's happened multiple times throughout history, in different places around the world.
Well, if you haven't read 1984, I got bad news
That too.
for you.
Yeah.
That too. That's the one that's lingered in my head.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even World War Z.
World War Z.
With a virus or a pandemic coming out of China.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a book or something about 1981 pandemic as well, similar. All of this stuff kind of falls into the same grade of literature, kind of.
Yeah.
So we found out about the reveries, the updates, the upgrades. I don't get it. If everything's been working so perfectly all this time, has he been consistently giving these updates, these reveries all this time, and this is the first time they've gone bad? Or as we were introduced to cold storage, is this literally just what happens with a batch every time they have an upgrade, a batch of them go bad?
I think you're going to find out more about the reveries in the future, for sure. At least right now, from what episode 1 says, it seems as though the reveries were a little touch that Anthony Hopkins was doing, like the woman touching her finger with her lip, to her lip. Right. That was supposed to be like one of those nuanced movements that give one of the hosts personality. Right. So what they think right now in the first episode is that the reveries somehow are screwing up the code within the hosts.
And for the record, I don't think that's what's happening. I have a whole nother theory. Right.
Well, yeah, their theories are abounding already for sure. But yeah, I mean, I love Anthony Hopkins' introduction in this one. He's in cold storage talking to the old like the old like rickety robot, cowboy dude. That was so crazy. The way that actor, I don't know if they CGI'd it, but the way he moved made him look like such a robot. It was so good.
I didn't care for the whole you could put yourself away scene, part of that scene. If you could put yourself away, you could pull yourself out. Genius.
Yeah, well, not without his command.
Yeah, so they say.
Well, yeah. Because Anthony Hopkins has an audio command built into all the hosts.
No, and then you're walking down in one of those sub-level 4. They just reenacting the fucking Matrix, the Matrix 2, and everybody's like dancing and shit.
Right. Yeah, he's just throwing a rave down there with all the lobotomized hosts.
I just need to know, whose idea was it to put Dr. Hannibal Lecter in charge of a bunch of animatrons?
Right.
Dude, it's like asking the same thing about Asgard.
And wait. At the same time, having a B-roll Neil deGrasse Tyson be his understudy. What is going on here?
It's a B-roll.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna stop.
I'll say, have you seen him in Wolfman?
I've not seen Wolfman.
The last remake of it.
Jeffrey Wright. Yeah.
You should watch it.
I haven't watched any Wolfman adaptations.
We should watch it for Wednesday.
Oh.
No. No, fuck that. Hugo Weaving's in it.
V for Vendetta. Mm-hmm. So and then that cold storage unit, which you bringing that up, Nick, really quick. Cold storage. So it seems like all of the old, we don't use you anymore, bots or hosts go down to cold storage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Nobody thinks that's a bad idea. With
the decommissioned hosts, yeah. And not to mention that the entire floor is dilapidated and the refrigeration system doesn't work.
Right, so they're not even on ice anymore. It's just a bunch of pouring water around them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which at that point I would think makes them sentient.
I don't know. Technically, they got lobotomized, so they are sentient. They're just not able to move without like guidance.
Listen, I've seen movies about lobotomized people, like human beings. They typically turn into rage monsters, like the monster of Frankenstein.
You kind of somewhat see that towards the end of the episode.
Yeah, you kind of do a little bit,
He's
right?
like, choke him out, choke him.
Right, right. And it's like you want to lobotomize, basically artificial
Yeah.
humanoids.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna lobotomize them, which basically means you're gonna take away their reason. It doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna take away their motor skills or anything else. Just the reason.
I'm telling you, this is the
All reason gone.
this is the setup to fucking Blade Runner.
This is the setup to every zombie movie we've ever seen. We just never knew where the zombies came from.
They're just really decaying robots.
Yeah, decaying robots, exactly.
One little nanites that transform you into them.
I did like the Peter Abernathy scene. That was pretty good. Dolores's dad when he's sitting with Anthony Hopkins. Yeah.
Yes, that's a really great scene. It looks like we have a comment here.
Say who?
Mara says here it has historical context. So just what the fuck so far?
Right, that is definitely what the fuck so far. Historical context, really?
Oh, that might have been something prior. Sorry about that. I missed the.
Oh, okay.
I'm
okay.
terrible.
I just saw it out the corner of my eye too. That's the funny part.
I'm the worst. Sorry about that, Mara. I did catch that soon enough.
But yeah. So as far as just the whole cold storage is really that scene, the multiple scenes walking through there, seeing this iRobot-ish scene of this sea of robots or hosts just kind of standing there, and I'm just waiting for one of their eyes to twitch.
She said it. She was mentioning the scalping.
Oh, you know, that definitely has historical reference.
Yeah, it certainly does.
That's very true.
Well,
so yeah,
my hair went.
So, what do you think the picture did? We see that the picture broke his programming.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that last directive that he has, the one to protect Dolores.
Mm-hmm.
So if he finds out, because they still have reason, they still have a level of intelligence. It's almost like they're connected to the internet or something.
Right.
But they still have a level of intelligence where they can perceive things, right? So the dad gets to his third directive, and his third directive is to protect Dolores. Well, if you know that this place isn't real and you know the things that they do to her,
right,
now you can't complete that third directive because you don't even know what's out there.
Yeah, he finds himself in kind of like a paradox almost. Like the place that we exist in is a danger to my daughter, so my directive can never be fulfilled.
Correct.
Because she's constantly in danger. Yeah. That's actually pretty interesting. That's something that I didn't 100% pick up on the first time. Yeah.
Okay.
But it is a very interesting little note about why Peter Abernathy kind of, spazzes out and just short circuits.
Right. And then I love how he speaks for the mass. Like, I got a very hive mind sense from that, like an Ultron. That's what I was thinking. Like almost like there's a bug, there's a glitch in the system.
Right.
And they haven't caught it yet because they didn't even know they created it. And essentially they didn't create it directly. I think we all know you put so many things together, if you're programming a computer, if you're building a statue of some sort, something that's super inanimate, you have to put a lot of different things together, and you might create something you didn't intend on.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. And the more complex, I mean, these are very complex, androids. They have to do multiple functions. There has to be a lot of logic gates, I'm sure, because Dolores can have a normal day as long as nobody interacts with her.
Sure.
So she could go throughout the entire day, or if nobody goes who's a bandit, goes to her house to rob them.
Right.
But, normally if nobody messes with her, she could just have a normal day where she sees Teddy, they go horseback riding, and, they come back home, and then that's it.
Make little android babies.
Make little android babies, yeah.
See sparks flying.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And that's the other thing. So with old boy coming back and forth for 30 years, it's like you've been there for 30 years. You know all of the scripts.
Hmm.
Shouldn't there be a cap on how many times you can come? Pause.
Wow.
You have you run out of money.
Well, once you run out of money, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, pretty much. Well, and he even says it to Dolores. He says, after all these years, you still don't remember me.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's kind of weird because, this guy's obviously a bad guy. I really enjoy Ed Harris's character because he plays an evil, just depraved individual. And it really shows, like, if you went to a place for 30 years where you could treat people like animals, you would become an animal.
Oh, yeah. Hands down. And eventually it wouldn't be enough for you.
Right.
Which is what we see
Right.
in his character from
Exactly.
the very beginning. It's not
exactly.
enough.
It's never enough. He's
yeah,
he's playing the game on 150 when everybody else is at, level 1.
He's definitely the guy who found the the guy who found the tech support backdoor.
Yeah. Pretty much the God mode.
Right.
Yeah.
So and I'm sure and that's what I was saying though, is with him being back and forth for 30 years, clearly he has the funds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious to know, how much do you pay before you're able to control some aspect of it beyond deciding which route you want to take? Like it's one thing to treat it like, right now it kind of seems like miniature golf. Do you want to go left or do you want to go right? But
so you're saying like a curated experience for somebody?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would assume that perhaps they have packages or something like that. But I think of the biggest draw about Westworld is that you have to pay the $46,000 a day, and it's your decision what you do. And each decision you make branches you are farther and farther out, and like things get more and more dangerous as you go farther away from the town. It's just like a video game. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, somebody may want like a perfectly curated experience, but I think a lot of those people, especially people like who would have the money to go for 30 years, this dude wants to just live in the chaos of it.
Right. Yeah, he's guaranteed a multimillionaire in the real world.
Oh, for sure. You don't go there that much, and not be like the one of the top of the top.
30
Yeah.
years. Look, I'm not gonna lie. If I went to Westworld one time, I'd probably be bored as shit, because I don't think I have it in me to want to do half of those things. And the moment you break that seal, I don't see you being able to put the cap back on.
Yeah, but you've only seen one episode of what happens inside the little town.
I mean,
that's the first. That is the first walk.
But that's kind of the point. Like, I don't know if I'm depraved enough to enjoy any of those acts. Like, oh, we're just gonna go raping and killing. No interest.
No, but it's not, the raping and the killing is like the base level stuff. Because even you see with the Man in Black, the Man in Black isn't. I mean, he did rape Dolores, and he is killing a lot. But there's more to it than that. He's looking for something. The extremes. Yeah, and
so you tell me
all the quest lines too. There's hundreds of quest lines that you can go on that take you through way different experiences than just hanging out in the town.
I'll take your word for it. I'll wait until we get to like level 4 or 5 and I'll reassess.
There you go.
But right now, it's seeming real basic.
Right.
It's real fucking carnival level over here.
I just got one question.
Mm-hmm.
Do anybody just take it to the level, just say they're gonna just get shifty and just take a crap on top of like the bartender and serve up like a nice chocolate soft serve shit?
I mean, I guess you could do it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything stopping you from doing that.
I mean, fuck the raping and robbing. Just get gross.
Yeah.
Just go do some foul shit.
Right.
And maybe I don't know enough about the Western times, because I'm thinking like, outside of stealing and fucking, what else was they doing?
Yeah, there's a lot of different storylines, trust me.
All right. I'll wait till we get deeper into it.
And there was drinking milk and feeding dead corpse milk, screaming, "You're a growing boy."
Yeah.
You're a growing boy. I don't know if that was milk. I assume if you put milk in a real robot, it's breaking down. So I'm sure that was like white oil.
I don't know what it is. Actually, to be honest, I don't know. I don't think that he was supposed to be drinking. I mean, I guess they do drink alcohol though, so I don't know. I don't know what the
Yeah.
mechanism is for their drinking.
Well, they're not. Yeah, they're not machines. They are
Right.
machines, but they're not machines. We
They're
see that filtration process.
synthetic organic machines.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The real tissue and junk that
Mhm.
is created in a machine. Whatever. They're 3D printed. Actually, if we really think about it, they're 3D
Yeah.
printed humanoids.
Yep. Yep.
These are the future for what people are gonna enjoy when they make when they get the sex box, get to that next level. I mean, that's what I see. I mean, I don't know if it's still on HBO, but they do legitly have this whole documentary on the evolution of sex bots.
Mhm.
Makes sense. I mean, hey, look, I think we just got a glimpse from episode 1 as to one of the new things that they're going to implement into sex bots, and I could see people wanting it. I could also just see it being dangerous, which is a memory system, like a memory core. Like your seats remember your favorite position, your sex bots remember your favorite position. It'll start remembering timing. When you want this, when you like that, you could program it like you could program a robot to follow a track. Yeah.
I think humanity is doomed if we go too deep into this.
That's kind of the point I'm getting at. Like,
Yeah.
because so you think about where the show went, right? The first episode, and the reason I bring that up is the whole fragments of prior work tasks,
Mhm.
prior directives coming into the new directives.
Yes.
And of course, they're still, like we said, they're blaming the referees, but you can't give a computer so many different jobs and then expect it to not still be capable of doing the jobs that you took it away from.
Also, what do we call the recalling of past events?
History.
Well, what do you do when you recall something in the past?
Oh, you remember some shit.
Right.
Remember Barry.
Right.
I love it. You remember some shit.
You remember some shit.
My bad.
So are these hosts starting to remember?
Yeah. Definitely.
They're definitely catching some shit, and that's becoming a problem, especially if they were programmed to do certain things, like Dolores' father. He's asking, like, he's like, I don't give a fuck if I'm gonna get choked out.
No.
As long as I protect my daughter, my baby girl.
It's like he's reciting Shakespeare and shit, and his name was Rose all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably a cross-dresser in one.
Yeah, he was playing a like one of the horror characters called the Professor back at 20 years ago, where he was like this cannibal that recited Shakespeare.
Right.
And so he was recalling some of that old programming.
And watch him turn into a cannibal coming out that cold storage.
Right.
Just saying, man.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else that you wanted to bring up?
I have the main thing for me.
Do it.
Do it. Dolores is a special girl, they say. Dolores is the oldest host on the park.
Mm-hmm.
She's been remade so many times that she is like new.
Mm-hmm.
The entire show, we've been seeing flies land and crawl on eyeballs, and nobody did the Trevor Noah. Not once, right? Because they're nasty. They just letting it crawl around. But at the end, Dolores, the oldest bot that's been remade and has all these prior lives, she smacks the fly because she felt it.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me Dolores ain't the only one faking. They've been planning this for a minute. Whatever's about to go down, it's about to go down. I'm talking Terminator level shit.
She tired of seeing Donut Lord getting lit up.
And that was after her father malfunctioned, right?
And that was after her father malfunctioned.
And her father whispered something to her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that broke her directive as well, but she's strong enough. I think she is the ringleader. She is the Ultron character.
Yeah, you'll have to see. But these violent delights do have violent ends, as Peter Abernathy would say.
I like it.
Yep. Which is a Shakespeare quote from Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, gosh.
Say this now.
Juliet.
And I got in trouble for when I took my Shakespeare course in college. Shakespeare is overrated, man.
I mean, it's a slog to read, but it's nice to hear. I like hearing Shakespeare.
I never thought that was an unpopular opinion.
What? That he's
Shakespeare is
overrated?
boring. Yeah.
I mean, you know.
And dude, people wanted to kill me. They were like, "Why are you here?" I said, "So I can make my
It's called credits.
my art." Well, that and plus I'm a smart ass. I'm like, I want to make my arguments valid. I want to back my shit up when I talk it.
Interesting.
I'm like, I love Shakespeare, but I'm never gonna act like I haven't been reading a script or, going over that shit.
I think Shakespeare's like the Beatles. You forget how influential they are. You know what I mean? Like the Beatles, everybody's like, yeah, the Beatles or whatever. But it's like, if you actually think about the music that the Beatles produced, they're incredibly influential to, rock and roll music.
Oh, for sure.
So it's the same thing with Shakespeare, in my opinion. It's like, Shakespeare's great, but,
I'm sure Shakespeare has a few things to be mentioned for that I'm not aware of.
Well, who even knows if Shakespeare existed? That's one of them, right?
Oedipus Rex, apparently.
Or what was the other one? There was another guy. I forget. Sir Francis Bacon.
Sir Francis.
Or Queen Elizabeth. Some people think that it was Queen Elizabeth.
You know what? Never mind. I know too much. Plausibly, because she was apparently a very, very eclectic type.
Only the global theater can tell.
Only the global theater. Yeah.
Nicely done, sir.
And all the world is a stage. So there we go. Do you guys have anything else that we wanted to get to before we wrap this one up?
I want to finish the fucking season now.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm glad that you guys are actually interested. I wanted to do this episode just to like test the waters and see if you guys were interested, and because if you had no interest, then I'd be like, yeah, let's just not. We can skip it or something.
It was just one of those things that was like, it was on my radar. Same thing like the movie we watched, The Little Things, and I'm happy to disappoint.
Yeah. I've already started watching episode 2, so I'm just watching them now.
It's definitely giving me I'm gonna call my cousin baby daddy Tracy and he gonna fuck you up vibes. And Dolores is the cousin baby daddy named Tracy and she gonna fuck them up.
I could see it. Yeah. She's a little bit too apple pie,
Oh yeah, definitely no Sky in this with this apple pie.
No.
She is that hot shit on the windowsill waiting to burn your lips.
Right. Right, exactly. All right. Well, cool. Then I guess we can say that we are firmly looking forward to reviewing the second episode.
Hey, hold on.
Yes.
What's going to happen with that? Fuck. What was that chick from Juno?
Oh.
I know. I don't know her name.
Ellen Page. Elliot Page. Oh, shit. I almost dead named it. Yes. Don't dead name Elliot Page.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Elliot Page now.
I'm
see how long that lasts. Hey, what was up with like her twin? Like,
the girl that just like randomly kissed a host in front of everybody. I thought that was a weird scene too, for sure. Elsie. Her name is Elsie.
See?
Yeah. She's Bernard's like tech. The girl that's with Bernard.
That. I saw that. You're right. I see that. Jeez.
She's getting a little happy.
Yeah, she was kissing the bar wench. That's like, you're new. Not much of a rind on you.
Right. I actually have a theory as to what that's about as well. You have so many of these hosts. At some point, they are made the emotions and emotions and affections have to be derivative of somewhere. Like somebody has to realize that these are things that are necessary for certain emotions are necessary. Mm-hmm. So the people who are programming them, of course, are going to put things that they like into them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe that's Elsie's dream girl.
Yeah, legit. That's really that's where I took it.
She just designed her to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. In her ass, yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna look around real quick and I'm gonna stick this tongue in you, girl.
And notice, part of her directive, that particular host, is she is open to kissing pretty much anyone that walks in.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's to be insensitive. She's a prostitute. Yeah.
But I'm just saying. But she's a kisser, particularly. Right. You get what I'm saying? So I'm thinking with the Elsie character, there has to be some connectivity or connection between her kissing the bot or the host, and that being something that the host is open to doing in the storyline.
Yeah, I don't think consent is a huge thing in this show, to be honest. Sorry.
You're so right. Sorry, 2021. I tried.
Yeah, we're canceling Westworld. But yeah, so I think that will be interesting to see episode 2. Episode 2, by the way, is one of my favorites. You'll see, but episode 2 is fantastic, and basically every episode after is going to be really good too. So we will be covering the rest of the episodes on my turns. So next episode review will be on Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Is it next Wednesday or next? Yes, next.
Yep.
Next Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday because yes.
Oh no, yes, next Wednesday.
Okay.
I can't count.
On Wednesday.
Yes.
And it's you and Keelan.
Yep.
And it's Nick again.
There we go.
The
We're
next
going to be
Wednesday.
doing this next Wednesday. We're going to be covering episode 2 of Westworld. So please check in with us again, and make sure you check in with us on this Wednesday and this Sunday as we do our episodes going forward for random movies that we have chosen. Dejan and Keelan are next, so we're going to be seeing what they choose for us to review. But thank you so much, you guys, for listening. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. We hope that maybe this inspires you to go revisit Westworld if you haven't seen it in a while or haven't seen it at all. Please be sure to check it out and visit us next time for the review of episode 2. Just very much appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to us at all. So thank you very much. And if you want to check out what we do on our separate podcasts, Keelan's got a podcast called If Numbers Could Talk. It's on at Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Please be sure to check him out. If Numbers Could Talk. He's got a Facebook page and a YouTube page. He's also on our Thinkering Talks page on Facebook. If Numbers Could Talk, 6 p.m. Tuesday nights. Be sure to check him out. The Mustard Dijon's got a Twitch page that he runs. It's called Strawberries and Coffee, and he's streaming games Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. and then posting those streams to YouTube the next day. And please be sure to subscribe to his Twitch channel and his YouTube channel, Strawberries and Coffee. I got a podcast called Exofathom. It's on Mondays at 8 p.m. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about exorcisms and demonic possession, I believe. And if you want to check that out, please feel free to check out our page on Facebook and YouTube, Exofathom. But if you're a purist and just want to hear us babble on about movies and critique things for which we have no credentials to critique, thank you for taking this trip through the Screen Time Continuum with us. For Screen Time Continuum, I am Nick.
I am Keelan.
I'm the Mustard.
Good night.